thing. So to start, I'm going to be one of the maybe few people here that's got my security blanket. These, for those of you who don't know, you probably see me as a really confident public speaker. And what you don't know is that in my life, I have dyslexia. So growing up, being able to speak clearly and to be able to articulate my message has been an overwhelming source of anxiety for me. So with that, how many people in here have played the game hide and seek? We're not actually going to play it, as much as I really love to. I bet some of you could find some really great hiding spots in here. But I want to invite you to maybe consider that you're still playing this game right now, unconsciously to you. So when we're kids, we have these really big dreams. We often feel like we can make the impossible possible. And here I go. There's this great quote by Benjamin Franklin, and it goes, "You can be anything you set your mind to." You've likely seen this on one of those inspirational posters in your elementary school classroom, right? So this idea of setting our minds to something, to this direction in life that is inspired by something that sets our soul on fire. Just that very act of feeling inspired is something that encourages us to want to seek it, right? So when I was 5 years old, I went to my first Irish dancing class. And for those of you who don't know, my father is a ninth-generation Dubliner and moved to America in the 1980s. And after that class, I'd gotten back home and I turned on an original copy. It was a pre-recorded copy of Riverdance that my aunt had received from Beata Flatley, who at the time was Michael Flatley's wife, and he's the star of Riverdance. And she had given that to us. And so after coming back from this first class, I put it on the TV, and I remember listening to Reel Around the Sun and just dancing probably ridiculous things around my living room. And it was at that moment I knew that Irish dancing was going to be in my life forever. There we go. Yeah. Cutesy. So even through all of the challenges and failures that I faced as a professional performer, choreographer, and instructor, I've stuck with it because it's something that sets my heart on fire. Now, not all dreams are considered... Oh, hello. Sorry, I'm seeing myself for the first time. I gotta look this way. Not all dreams are considered substantial or admirable by society. And so even though we're faced with this idea that we can be anything we want to be, society tells us that in order to be successful, you have to be academically achieved. And in order to be liked, you have to behave in a certain way. And so we're faced with this dilemma. Do you follow your dreams and go for that thing that nourishes your soul? Or do you hold yourself back and follow whatever society's plans are for you? And so let's just take a moment to think back to that time that you remember playing hide and seek. Do you remember finding one of your friends and feeling that joy and excitement that lit you on fire? And it encouraged you to want to keep doing that? So what happened there is our brains were flooded with this neurotransmitter called dopamine. And this is what is known as the reward chemical. And just by engaging in that act of completing the task, of doing what you were supposed to do, you were like receiving an actual shot in the arm of motivation. And it told you to keep doing that thing that you like doing. Now, on the other hand, there's this neurotransmitter known as nociceptin. And it actually suppresses our dopamine receptors. And so whenever we think and believe our fears, fear of failure, fear of acceptance, we're actually engaging this neurotransmitter. And so what ends up happening is that when we seek for our dreams, but we feel like we're going to fail at them, more often than not, we end up not taking the risk. We end up holding back. And so the more that we practice this, the more that we habituate holding back, well, the better you get at it. I like to tell my dance students that if you're going to come into the studio and you want to be a champion Irish dancer, you want to be the next Gene Butler or Michael Flatley, you have to habituate what you're going to do in here, right now. Not tomorrow, not the next day. It has to be today. And so I'm guessing you all know what the solution is to this problem. I'm just, throwing that out there. And so this problem is, how do I learn to seek again? Right? Because we've spent all this time hiding. The practice of meditation. This is what helps us break our habits of hiding and to teach us how to seek again. We have this opportunity to retrain our minds to see the beauty in life and to go for it and to realize that this fear is just a story that we're telling ourselves. Do you believe the story or not? And so in my meditation practice, one that stemmed at the beginning of 2020, who else had a meditation experience because of COVID? That was really kind of what led you here, right? I learned that my anxiety and my fear was what was holding me back. And being able to go into meditation allows me to return to that younger version of myself, that one that felt like I could make the impossible possible. And it gives me that confidence to go forward. Now, we are all graduating this amazing course, this 200-hour meditation teacher training course. And now we have this ability to teach other people how to seek for their dreams, to teach them to recognize their fears and to be able to come back to the present moment and truly witness the limitless potential that is in their life. And so to seek is to be courageous, and to hide is to give in to fear. Life is meant to be lived with passion. And we only have a short amount of time on this planet to do it. So ask yourself, are you hiding or are you seeking?